Nice helmet. Alright, so for this episode, we're going to be talking about how you should expect the unexpected while you are on the two wheels so you can be a safer rider on the road. And what I'm going to be doing is going back to my desk to show you guys some examples of what happens if you do not expect the unexpected that causes you to crash, which is not a good situation. So without further ado, let's get going. Another one on the highway. Okay. So far things seem normal. Oh wow, wow. Whew. Okay, so let's watch this again. I'll pause it right here. Okay, so this is truly unexpected because it's very hard to predict why this Honda Pilot would brake check, because usually from my experience, a vehicle in front of me would brake that hard in scenarios such as obviously a car in front of him suddenly slowed down, or he's quickly trying to make the next exit and his next lane is blocked by a car. And in this case, this white vehicle is somewhat blocking the path of this Honda Pilot. But just the way this Pilot braked, it just didn't make sense to me. Let's see if I can catch the right moment. Jesus. Yes, that's kind of odd. And perhaps this happens if you have a lot of drivers who don't know how to drive on the highway and they're super timid, or have a little bit of anxiety changing lanes and needs to slow down to make the exit. But scenarios like this actually scare me the most because it is so unexpected. And these type of accidents, it would be your fault as a rider because you're the one that failed to slow down for the vehicle in front of you. But the only way to combat this really is to have good reaction with your motorcycle. Make sure your ride's brakes work properly, or at least you know how hard you can press before locking the wheels. This is just going to have to come with practice and the amount of space you left in front of you. Good on the rider here, that creature, for slowing down quickly and then realizing that you don't really have an exit path in this position because on the right you have a car right behind you, so you're going to cut him off, and potentially these vehicles are trying to come in, as you can see from this van here that just crossed the line. So you're not in a very good situation, and the only method you had was to slow down yourself to not hit this Honda Pilot. Whew. Yeah, that one was a tough one. Sweet 360 camera, nice helmet. Whoa! The fuck?
And if you're wondering what that was a piece of tire that smacked him right on the visor. Luckily, he didn't get hurt in this incident.
Wow. Yeah, okay, so this is the reason why I wear a full face helmet, because shit like this, oh my god, he's so lucky. I mean, the chances of that happening is fairly low, but it has happened, and you do not want to be the person that actually has to test whether or not your skin and your eyes can survive a freaking strip of a tire. Oh, wow. Let's see that again. Oh my god. And that force that hits you, like, man, he did a really good job keeping his bike upright. And look at that. It just takes off the visor of the helmet. Whew. Look at him. Oh, wow. Well, there's nothing to really correct about that. I think it's just showing you that unexpected things such as that will happen, and sometimes it could be as simple as a bug that goes into your helmet or peppering your face and causing visibility issues for you. So if you have the ability, please do wear proper motorcycle riding gear. If you're not the type to wear a full face helmet, wear sunglasses that gives you ballistic protection. Okay, let's continue on with the next one. All right, let's begin. Pretty congested street. Oh, okay, that's a pretty easy one. All right, let's quickly go back. All All right, we'll stop right here. I know the video footage is slightly distorted. It's just the quality of the video that gets taken from the website, so bear with me. But as you can see here, you're on a rural road, which seems to be pretty congested on the opposite side, which generally means that there's going to be a lot of impatient drivers out there that is going to be looking to pass the slowest driver. And if it is stacked up like this, you're going to see multiple cars coming into your lane and quickly bypass the obstacle to continue on with their path. But the problem is you are obviously in this lane that is going ahead at a much faster speed than most of the vehicles that are stalled on the opposite end. So as a rider, you should always be cognizant when notice that there's slower traffic on the opposite end that has passing marks. Expect a lot of impatient drivers or motorists to pop out without much signal and blocking your lane of traffic. This rider here did a really good job by anticipating what was going to be unexpected, and he already positioned himself in position number 3, which is the furthest right position of your riding lane, to give yourself ample amount of space in case there's a car popping out from the traffic line. So let's continue watching here. Yeah, so that's pretty bad decision on this SUV here. But like I said before, a lot of these people are very impatient as they were probably stuck behind this big semi truck here maybe for a while, and this guy just had it. Who knows what his situation was, but luckily for this rider here, he was able to squeeze past on his riding position without going into the grass territory. All right, so let's continue on. Okay, so we're in a commercial area. A lot of busy roads.
Fucking Christ.
Okay, so I'll pause right here because there's a lot of action happening. So I covered this in my last video, but I'll cover it again if you haven't seen it already. If you're on commercial road like this that is highly active with parked cars and pedestrians everywhere, you need to be ready for a lot of unexpected occurrences. And one of the things that you need to look out for is when you're looking at these parked cars here is looking for these signal lights or just a sign that the car is still on. The two most common ones that I usually encounter are cars who just finished parking and their passengers don't bother to look what's coming behind them and just opening their doors as if they're in a very safe lane. But as you can see here, it's a very small and narrow parking stall. Therefore, if these people decide to open the door, it will come into the lane position number 1. So your best way to combat that is to again be away from the hazard, but not too close that you're in the oncoming traffic's path of collision. The other scenario that I usually see, cars that are ready to exit their parking spot and entering your lane. They rarely do a shoulder check to see if you're there. And even if they do, it's possible that your bike silhouette, which is a lot narrower than the car, they might not register that it's a vehicle or a force that they need to worry about. So it's very common for cars that are parked like this to re-enter the road without seeing you and possibly colliding with you if you were not anticipating that. This rider, though he was quite pissed off, which I think I would be too, he didn't let his emotion get the best of him. He definitely got himself in the right position to give himself the most amount of space and time to react to unexpected situations such as this. Right there. So in fact, he actually did end up going to the other lane, but as you can see here, there is no cars coming towards him. So he made a very quick decision. And as a motorcyclist, you need to learn how to make quick decisions that's going to save your life. And throughout my motorcycle crash analysis series, I will be covering very common scenarios that you'll face as a rider. Now, one thing I just wanted to point out was fact that all these cars are facing the wrong way. So like this vehicle here is actually facing this way, whereas this car is facing forward, which is super odd. I don't know where this is. See if I can see more examples here. Okay. Yeah, so even on the right side, the cars are going forward, which is weird because we just saw a car going this way. And yet I am still perplexed by what I'm seeing here. If you know what's going on and you live in this type of area, please do explain to me and my viewers what's going on and why are cars parked in opposite directions on both sides. Let's just continue on with the next video. Oh, it's a Sportster, Roadster 1200. Ooh. Oh, was he on his phone? Let's watch that again. Okay, I'm just going to pause it right there because I talked about this in a couple episodes. One of the big things that you need to watch out for is the sunlight here. It is going to be blinding if you don't have the right shades for your eyes. And my rule of thumb is if there's a sunlight in front of you, you generally have to watch out for people behind you or people coming into your lane. And if the sun is behind you, you're looking for the cars in front of you that's approaching towards you. Okay, pause right there. So this vehicle was in the wrong the entire time, and he knows it. He got a little bit impatient based on, I believe, this van here probably slowing him down, and this vehicle was in a hurry. So he decided to cut in early without doing a proper shoulder check because he believes by speeding up that there's not going to be a vehicle behind him that's going to be able to catch up, or at least that's what his mentality was. But this Roadster 1200 was going at a faster speed, and he was accelerating up, which made it worse for this situation. Right about there. That's really close to the car, probably kicking distance. I would say as the rider, he decided to use his horns to let the driver know that he's there before he positioned himself in a safer area. And I would say for me, I would have swerved out of the way before even thinking about honking the horn, because it doesn't really matter if he hears you, if he's already going towards your path of travel and will eventually collide with you if you don't move. So my recommendation is to swerve out first and then make the sound action. Right there.
Alright, so as I go on to the highway here that is super congested because, you know, it's rush hour and it's a work day, I need to make sure that I also expect the unexpected, like all these cars on my right, all these cars on the left, and mostly the people behind me who are super impatient. Like you can see this white car here behind me, he's looking to actually jet to the right lane here to bypass everyone. You can tell, see, here he goes. This is how impatient people are. Fucking guys. What's gonna happen is that guy's gonna save probably 20 seconds of his life by just doing that maneuver, which makes really no difference. But yeah, it's one of those things that keeps you very alert. If you put yourself in a situation where you're trying to calculate everything to be ready for any weird situations. So hopefully you guys enjoy the series thus far, and if you got any comments or opinions, please put it in the comments below so we can have a chat about it. And with that said, ride safe, ride prepared, ride on. Peace.